continues right here on 2K Sports. Some of our first look at what's in store for the league on regular season. Steve Kerr's by my side, as is Clark Kellogg. This is Kevin Harlan. Doris Burke is waiting in the wings on the sideline. It's the Los Angeles Clippers and the Denver Nuggets. You look at the Clippers, still in the preseason. They look like they're finding an early rhythm. I know they hope to continue that throughout this long NBA season.
You know, looking good in the preseason is important because that gives you some momentum. And momentum leads to confidence. Confidence leads to more momentum, and those are the kind of building blocks you want to have getting ready and going into the regular season.
And they've won more than they've lost here, so that's a good thing. They can carry that momentum forward, and it doesn't automatically carry into the regular season, but if you put in the work and you continue to build that confidence, you'll be in good shape.
Here are the five for the Clippers. Ron Butler, Blake Griffin, and DeAndre Jordan, their front line. Chris Paul and Chauncey Billups make up the backcourt. And for the Nuggets, Kenneth Faried and JaVale McGee, they're inside. Boston out there with Iguodala. And it's Chandler in at the small forward spot.
You think about JaVale McGee, guys, the physical talent is unquestioned. He's long, he's tall, he's athletic, he can run. I think the question mark is, can he be consistent with his game and with his focus and be part of a winning team? Being traded to Denver helped, I think. That's a good role for him.
And speaking of JaVale McGee, you know, you see this with a lot of young players, but Clark, he has a reputation of making some really head-scratching plays in the past.
Yeah, we call those young, immature, brain-neutral plays. And when you're between 20 and 24, it's hard not to make them, especially when you got the athleticism JaVale has. But maturity will eliminate some of those plays over time.
Here's Iguodala, and it was still over the rim. Offensive basket interference.
Well, one thing you love about Andre Iguodala is his durability. He's missed fewer than 30 games in his entire 8-year career. One of those guys who takes great care of himself in the offseason, works hard, watches his diet. I think that's been a big factor.
Butler gets to Billups. Can't get it to go.
Well, I like the defense there. Right up in his grill, didn't give him a chance.
Can't get it to go.
Oh, come on. You've got to get the 2 points there.
Left side, Billups. Here's Butler. And yes, a nice assist from Billups.
Nice touch near the hoop.
Iguodala outside. 15 seconds left in the first quarter. And here is Billups. Paul goes in. Butler. And a great assist by Paul as that one goes in. Butler's got his second bucket tonight. Lawson outside. That misses. Would have counted had it gone in.
At the end of one.
And that does it for the first quarter.
Your Nuggets.
Clippers lead by 6.
The Clippers.
It's a Halloween broadcast of the NBA. Dwight Howard and the Los Angeles Lakers take on LaMarcus Aldridge and the Portland Trail Blazers. It happens.
Always a joy to get a sneak peek of the NBA season ahead as we get back to the action. And guys, what's your take on the Clippers so far?
And the defense has been key in building this lead. They've really clamped down hard.
They've done a nice job, Steve. I think challenging every shot, a hand up on every shot.
And a moment now to reset the lineups, courtesy of Gatorade, all fueled up for the second quarter of basketball. Setting the floor for the Clippers. On the wings, it's Crawford and Grant Hill. Griffin is out there with Odom, and it's Paul in at the point guard position. And Gallinari kicks to Miller. Just 5 on the clock. Off target from the wing.
You know, that's a problem he has. I mean, not being able to knock down that open jumper. It happens far too often.
You know, one of the things the Clippers did really well last year, guys, was they competed against the Western Conference at a pretty high level, and that's not easy. The West is definitely the stronger of the two conferences. So for the Clippers to fare well against that group of teams was pretty impressive.
And let's catch up with our sideline reporter, Doris Burke. Doris, over to you.
Gentlemen, the acquisition of Chris Paul by the Clippers by Blake Griffin, who joyfully said to teammate DeAndre Jordan, Lob City, after hearing the news. That name took on a life of its own, becoming Los Angeles in time. But the team started to back away from it, making clear that highlights weren't the emphasis. It was winning. But maybe the more meaningful reaction from Griffin was this. The only thing I'm going to promise is that when you hear the Clippers, it's not going to be a joke anymore. I can guarantee you that. Kevin, love it.
They've got probably the best team in franchise history. We'll see where they go next. Going back to the Clippers, as Steve was just talking about them, especially for a young team to come out and play as well as they did against the West. A conference that has so many seasoned veterans like Dirk Nowitzki and Tim Duncan and Kobe Bryant. They seem to be sprinkled all over the West.
Well, they were 29-19 against the Western Conference, and you know that was a big reason they were able to get that 5th overall seed in the playoffs.
Back to Crawford. He dishes it to Bledsoe. Butler on the wing. Over Gallinari. And he beat the buzzer, but it's no good.
Your Nuggets.
And we
Now, presented by Sprint.
Welcome. The Buck.
It's amazing. So amazing.
Thanks again for tuning in as we get going once again with our coverage of the NBA preseason. One of the stories here, Caron Butler, getting it done today.
Yeah, this is exactly what we've come to expect from this guy, and he has delivered here through 3 quarters.
Yeah, that's not easy since teams always are keying on him as the team's top player, but to be able to play like he has, with the reputation he's got, I mean, that takes an awful lot of talent and focus.
Kenneth Faried and JaVale McGee, they're inside. Iguodala out there with Lawson, and it's Chandler in at the small forward. That's the group for George Karl getting going here in the second half. So for the Nuggets, their last game, a loss to Oklahoma City.
And Kevin, when you don't take advantage of your trips to the free throw line, which they definitely did not, it's tough to recover from.
Yeah, it sure is. I mean, they left a lot of cheese and lettuce at that foul line.
Not to mention some ham and turkey to cook.
Iguodala. Lawson outside. Gives him the lead pass. Goes up. The shot's good from McGee.
And we have seen the intensity pick up big time here in the second half.
Well, you can feel the desire from both teams that they really want to win this.
Paul outside. Paul right side. Here's Griffin. The shot is off. And the Nuggets going the other way. And by virtue of their NBA schedule, their first game of the new year is against the Los Angeles Clippers. Here's Iguodala. Drops in the tray. Iguodala's got 5 now.
Well, he can shoot the 3. We know that. But I'm not sure that he does. I mean, they weren't anywhere near him on that possession.
Here's Billups. Gets it to go. Billups has got 5 points in the quarter.
Boy, nice pick there, guys. I mean, gave him the space he needed for the hoop.
The shot's good from McGee.
McGee, the bank deposit.
There's 10 seconds left to play in the third. Right side Billups. And that's not going to go. And the game still closely contested as we end.
14.
Tune in for
fourth quarter getting going here. It's time for the Sprite Uncontainable Game. Doris Burke with the report. Hi, Doris.
Thanks, Kev. And it's the Clippers with the Uncontainable Game Award for the offensive stretch they put together. The big charge they had right out of the gate set the tone, and that propelled them to this lead as we head to the fourth.
Great, thanks, Doris. And a very important turning point in this was when they started to gather that steam and really he started rolling, guys.
Yeah, no question, Kevin. And that run changed the entire feel of this game. And it wasn't just their offense that made it happen. The stops they were making defensively played just as big a role.
And right at the start of that run, fellas, you could see the sudden injection of energy that went through the whole team. Then it was game on.
So with Billups on the bench, here's who's on the floor now for Vinny Del Negro. On the wings, it's Crawford and Grant Hill. Odom out there with Griffin. And it's Bledsoe in at the point. Stolen by McGee. He feeds it to Lawson. Back to Fareed. Good ball movement here by the Nuggets. Fareed, a screen on Odom. Iguodala kicks to Fareed. It's stolen by Odom. Hill against Iguodala. Hill, no good. And here are the Nuggets now. Iguodala outside. Pass it to Lawson. Lawson gets the screen from McGee. Lawson dishes to McGee. Shot clock at 6. And Fareed kicks to Iguodala. Buries it.
What a huge shot there. How about what a game? I mean, he answered the bell with that one.
A drive by Paul. It's good. And tie game. That is a huge basket right there.
Well, Paul's got him dropping right now for sure.
Just about 1.5 minutes gone by here in the fourth. Iguodala with it. Billups picks him up defensively. McGee the pass to Iguodala. To JaVale McGee. Poked away. Griffin with the steal. From deep, Billups. Bullseye. Boy, that was a big shot.
And that one just flattened this crowd, Kevin.
Yeah, nothing you can do as a fan after a shot like that. Just shake your head.
Let's find out what Doris Burke has for us.
Hey, guys. Well, George Karl had some advice for the team in that last tunnel. He urged his players to think by saying, right here, margin of error and shot. He's going to play aggressive and smart.
Thank you, Doris. To win it. Oh, and he had a chance to win it right there, but couldn't get it to fall. Time.
What do you want? The Clippers.
Well, if you love great competition and neck-and-neck basketball action, this one has been a great one. Overtime number 1. Getting going right now. So the Clippers win the tip. And always a good ride in these post-regulation battles. This overtime now looking to be an exciting one. All fueled up and ready to go to overtime basketball here, brought to us by Gatorade. Let's check out who's on the floor. So on the floor for Denver, Kenneth Fareed and JaVale McGee, they're inside. Crossing out there with Iguodala. And it's Chandler in at the small forward. Iguodala, right side. Clock at 6. Get the teardrop. It's in! And what a sensational bucket to bring them within 1.
Boy, that floater takes such a nice touch.
And they double up Paul. Tries for the alley-oop. Oh, and they get in the way of the alley-oop. Not to be. Good play defensively. Knocked away! And it's going to be out of bounds. The Nuggets will retain possession. And it's the Nuggets with the ball. Lawson kicks to Chandler. Kicks to Iguodala. Fareed setting the pick for Iguodala. Pass to McGee. Back to Iguodala. Takes the 3. Buries the triple.
Iguodala! Now the crowd really getting into it.
Listen to that.
It is shaking in here, guys. Absolutely insane.
And the Clippers call time here. Guys, what do you think?
This is going to be a tough situation. They've got just enough time to catch and shoot. So it's the Nuggets taking the W in a close one. An impressive victory in overtime after an exciting end in regulation. You know what? In a long game, fatigue can sometimes affect every aspect of play. They didn't look tired at all to me.
Well, that's it for us. For Clark Kellogg, Steve Kerr, and Doris Burke, this is Kevin Harlan thanking you for tuning in to the NBA preseason on 2K Sports. Now, let's take a look at the Jordan Player of the Game, Iguodala.